Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Championship Rounds podcast. I'm Andrew, joined with Taj and Dan. And, you know, a quite quiet week of boxing. It's been a quiet couple of weeks of boxing, but there was a world title fight this weekend. Conceicao-Foster regains his WBC super featherweight title with a split decision against Robson Conceicao in their rematch after a very poor decision in the first fight. But this fight was a lot more competitive than.
Somehow made this close. I mean, look, the scorecards in the first fight, if you put them in this fight, there wouldn't be any question because this was a really close fight. I mean, he could have lost this fight. I didn't think he lost. I actually had it a draw.
I also had it a draw. I wouldn't have been mad if Conceicao regained the belt, which would have been, retained the belt because that would have been kind of funny if he was to get that robbery win and then just actually win the second fight.
I also had it a draw, but it was one of those draws where I think if I had to give it to someone, it would definitely be Conceicao.
I just think they both it's funny, they both looked better than the first fight. They actually threw punches, but then Foster still has this thing where he is so settled on just defending punches and not returning any of them. Like he'll just show you upper body movement, head movement, but then he won't do anything after that. And I think judges and most people would prefer like a 10-punch combo and maybe two of them land compared to you not like the other person not even throwing any punches back.
I agree.
I don't think he can. I mean, look, he wants to move up to lightweight. I don't think he has.
I think he wants to go now. Like he should, like the belt should be vacant, like right now. He's not fighting at this weight again. There's no way he does.
I mean, he's wanted to move up for a while.
Since the Nova fight.
He looked so poor those first few rounds, though. Like Conceicao, I think Conceicao 3 or 4 years ago beats this version of Foster pretty handily. You know, it was Conceicao's like lack of engine late on that ultimately lost in this fight. Really, even though I had it close and probably Conceicao winning. Like the reason it was that close was because Conceicao fell apart sort of the last third of the fight.
And he got hurt in round 10, I think.
That's another thing. Like with Foster, like at that point, he was down on my card when he hurt Conceicao in like the 10th, and Conceicao's knees dipped. His glove almost touches, and then Foster just doesn't throw a punch for the next sort of minute.
I did tweet like after that round ended. I was like, Foster is so infuriating to watch. Like you had him hurt. You finally got him for like the first time in how many, like 22 rounds, and you don't jump on that
in a fight where you probably are down at that point.
Yeah, his corner was on him like he was losing.
He's like Jack Hatfield, like last week or whenever it was. Like just why? I guess Jack Hatch was a bit better because he was like at least probably winning the fight at that stage. But you've just been robbed. You're probably down in this fight. You hurt him badly, and then you're just like, no, I'm alright. I'm not gonna throw a punch.
It's with that. I hope he shows improvement when he moves up because I do think he's like a good technical fighter, but he needs to, I guess, like Ken Shiro and like other people that like move up. It'll probably show that he'll have a better performance when he's not draining himself as much.
Rocky. No, Nova because he was good in Rocky fight. He was like really good. Like, he wasn't as trained as much. He could do more.
He was also a heavier fighter, so
I think like he just couldn't deal with Conceicao, for all his faults, he's very, very good at sort of landing and then making it really awkward and spoiling and switching you off. And I don't think Foster's like that. I don't think Foster had the skill to sort of stop him from spoiling the fight. And that's why he was struggling. Foster would land these awkward shots and be miles out of range and like throw these weird shots and like have these weird clinches and sort of all this weird stuff going on that Conceicao is very good at, and that's ultimately why he's been a world level fighter, Conceicao. But probably why he hasn't been like really, really successful at world level is because that's what he can really do. I just think Foster couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, well, only like really one person's be able to deal with it like well, and that was Shakur.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Baldas had hell, lost that fight. Navarrete had hell he drew. I didn't lose in that fight.
I thought Navarrete just beat him, but yeah, it's perfectly fine having it to Conceicao. But it's just, I worry for Foster. Something needs to change because regardless of if you think he won the first fight or not, it was a dreadful performance. Like Nova, like if he doesn't drop Nova in the last round, was it, or the 11th?
Not 12.
12th round, yeah. If he doesn't drop Nova, that's a draw on the cards. Because one of the cards that gave it to Foster was 114, 113. That's a draw if he doesn't drop in the last round. Like he's had like 3 back-to-back very poor performances. Like something needs to change. He needs to move up in weight. He needs to change trainers. He needs to do something because it just isn't working right now.
I mean, he hasn't been good this year, and I'm putting it down to the weight until I see otherwise, because he was good before this year, and they were all 130 fights too. So like, he's just really drained.
Was it?
Because he said after the Hernandez fight he wants to move up. The only reason he's still here is because he got robbed.
I don't even think he was that good against Rocky Hernandez though. Like it was a good comeback in that, but like what, Rocky had never been past like 4 or 5 rounds. And I know the cards were horrible in that fight, yeah. But he was legitimately down. Like going into the 12th, he was legitimately down in that fight.
Yeah, I don't have my scorecard anymore, so I can't check.
I think I had a 6-5 Hernandez.
Something like that.
It's just I just
Yeah, but I mean, well, at least he had something in him to finish it in the final round when he needed it. Like he won't have that now. He will not have that now. He can't do that now.
I think he lost the 12th last night. The 12th was very, very competitive. The 12th was competitive from the standpoint that the last sort of 2 or 3 rounds before that weren't. If that makes sense.
I think one of the judges gave Conceicao the 12.
Yeah,
probably
the one that
had him
scored it
winning.
for him. Yeah, but I had Foster's 5-1 down after the first 6.
So did I.
Like it was just so weird. But yeah, like he needs to go up. He needs to go up. He's finished it this way.
He's done pretty well to still be able to like be at world level, because it's clear that his body just can't do it. Like he can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and that's a testament to like he's a good fighter. Like you can see that he's really skilled. The fact that he can do it being so drained at this level.
It still has significant power to hurt these people.
I worry about him at lightweight though. To be honest,
he needs a couple. He needs a couple of gimmies. I feel like
there's a lot of good fighters at lightweight.
With his style, I think he needs I think he needs 1 or 2 gimme fights.
Oh, hopefully they match him well. before throwing him in the deep end.
Like,
Well, with him being with top rank, I mean, he might get Lomachenko fight.
Lomachenko's retiring, man. He's done.
He might come back.
I think they'll do the normal top rank thing. They'll like serve him. They'll give him sort of a, I don't know, a Pedraza or someone, and then they'll give him straight into like a Murataya fight or something for the world title.
Don't bring Pedraza back down again.
He's top ranked resident journeyman now, so like
Keyshawn already did that. We don't need to bring him down again.
or a Richard Comey, someone like that. These top ranked journeymen.
I'll be okay with Richard Comey. That'll be fine. Or is he still fighting at 140? I don't know. I don't know what weight he's fighting at now.
Yeah, I do worry for him at the weight above. There's so like Zara Delayev, like guys that are probably on the fringes of the top 10. They're tough fights for him. Like super feather's a very, very comfortable division right now. Like there's a couple of very, very limited fighters that have won world titles at super featherweight in the last couple of years, and then gone on to get a fight against the supposed pound for pounder. But that's another day. Lamont.
Yeah, but that might not be happening either.
Oh, it will happen. It will just happen in January, but like it's not happening in December. But yeah, not ideal. Moving on to this undercard. I don't know if you've seen this, but Yan Santana against Eduardo Baez. I really, really like Santana, as a prospect. I really think he's good. He dominated Baez. He hurt him in multiple rounds. And
I did like how patient he was when he hurt him in the first 2 rounds, and then he didn't try to still jump on him in the 3rd round. But it still got the finish in the 4th.
Well, I didn't watch it, but I had some Todd Rose narration in the messages.
Yeah, no, he beat on him.
Hurt him multiple times. Baez's legs went in the first round, and then he hits so hard, man. Like Baez is a tough guy. Like Baez, I know you shouldn't judge someone off losses really, but he won sort of 2 or 3 rounds against Angelo Leo in like January or February or whenever it was. Like he had a competitive fight with Leo. Like that's a really good performance. On the chief support there, Raymond Murataya, who hasn't really impressed his last couple of times out, beat Antonio Perez Campos by TKO2. Absolutely laid him out, detonated on him. I don't know how he got up from that first knockdown, to be honest. But yeah, he dominated.
I thought he was unconscious, and then he just got up like it was like some flash knockdown. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was weird, but
I was almost like positive this was going the distance because of how Murataya has been fighting recently. But now he just all right.
Look,
he's a really weird one.
He needed that. I mean, it's been a while since he's looked like that. He needed something like that.
Probably the last time he looked like that was Nakasila, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Other early knockout.
And that's 18 months ago. Like, he's a really weird fighter, Murataya, because he'll go and get dropped by. Who did he get dropped by? And one of the points decision. Yeah.
Or
he'll go and get dropped by someone. Oh, he stopped him late, didn't he? Yeah. I keep forgetting. He'll get dropped by someone. He'll sort of stink out in the decision. He'll lose a load of early rounds to Tevin Farmer. and then they'll go and blitz someone, and you're like, what level is this guy actually at?
It's pretty inconsistent. But when he's like this is when I love watching him fight. But we don't know when he shows up. Obviously, he's supposed to show up against someone like Tevin Farmer. Doesn't. Supposed to have like a tough test against Campos. He treats it like it's some random bum fight. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing with like Tevin Farmer is like, Tevin Farmer's crafty, like smart, and he's a veteran, and Murtai is like pretty basic in his offense. So
he still should have performed better than what he did.
he should have, but like it was more expected. But like he hasn't looked good recently, and because he was in like talks for like big fights, no
Vacant title
opponents,
fight.
and then he just looks like bad, and then just nothing gets spoken about for ages. And we're probably going to hear him again being in a noble fight soon after he blitzes an opponent, or just blitz an opponent.
I think the way the landscape is right now, you've got Keyshawn coming next week. He's the number 3 with the IBF. Abdulayev is going to be moved to number 2. Zepeda's fighting Tevin Farmer, ironically, for the WBC interim, so he'll be removed. So the top 2 guys in the IBF will be Zaid Abdulayev and Raymond Murataya. And if Loma does retire, which, it's looking very, very likely at this stage that he will, I think that's the fight they'll do. They'll do the Abdulayev against Murataya for the vacant IBF title. What's his name? Robert Garcia has been talking about it. Murataya is talking about it. Like, everyone's sort of saying that that's next. So I think they'll do that.
Yeah, I don't mind that actually. That's fine. That'll be fine with me.
And because also at the WBO convention, they said that not Murataya, they said that Davis against Lemos was for the WBO mandatory spot, essentially. So, like, the way they're moving, they're trying to move Keyshawn to the WBO and Murataya to the IBF.
Yeah, Top Rank always moving someone to the WBO.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it is what it is. Wasn't much else on that card. Bryce Mills is a ticket seller. Abraham Nova, actually. Abraham Nova put Galindo to a split draw in a fight that, I rate Nova. I think he's an okay contender. But my God, that was an awful performance, man. He was getting pinged about for the first few rounds of that fight badly, and then just like stunk it out to a draw, like pity patty, and just killed the fight. Like, God, that was a dreadful performance. Like, yeah, I thought he got a little bit lucky to get that decision, or get that draw, if I'm being honest. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, I didn't. He was really bad. And almost got stopped in the first round, too.
I mean, you would have thought he'd want to perform better after getting robbed in his last fight, but no. So
Got
he
badly robbed by
I guess
Cortez.
robbed against Cortez and gets pretty lucky here. I mean, he's not on a good run.
Another inconsistent top ranked fighter.
But, like a lot of these top rank guys, they are very serviceable and they'll always get chances.
He's 2-3-1 in his last 6. That's sort of. He won 2 out of his last 6, man. Jesus. That's, yeah. it's like I don't know, man. I struggle to see where he goes from here. That was really really bad, really bad.
I still think he'll still get opportunities because he's somewhat of a known name in the boxing circle.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do anything notable.
Yeah, not anymore. Like I thought he was okay at upper level. Like I thought he could be a good contender, but like he's just fallen off a cliff now. Like it's not good. It's really not good.
Yeah, since Rob AC stopped him, it's basically been downhill from there.
Well, to be
I mean,
in fairness, he had a close fight with Foster. I thought he lost it, but it was close.
yeah, he did.
And
I guess he did beat Blue Nose
yeah, well, he's a journeyman
after
now.
that fight.
And he iced Romero as well.
Look, respect.
Badly.
Respect. Blue Nose. He's one of the list goats.
He's a journeyman. You look down his record. He is a journeyman. He's the best fighter he's beaten. Jason Sanchez or someone. Luis Correa.
Sure, if we didn't even beat Corey.
But like, yeah, it's not good. Talking of things that aren't good. In Birmingham on Saturday, Liam Davis put in a dreadful performance against Davies-Masoud. Not schooled. Absolutely awful card. Giving it to Davis. I saw this fight 117-111 to Masoud.
Same.
See, I will say that another way, as in that was a brilliant performance from Davies-Masoud.
He looked crazy. He's looking like prime Whitaker for a couple rounds.
You know,
For most of the fight.
This is the thing about Masoud, yeah. He was very, very good at what he was doing, but he didn't have to change anything. He didn't change anything. It was literally Davis plods in, throws a single shot. Masoud throws with him, or slightly after him, has the much quicker hands, lands left hand, either clinches or moves out to the side, circles out. That was it.
It's really repetitive. It was kind of
Well, that's fine. I mean,
So
Davis not change anything the entire fight.
Masoud boxed very well and did what he had to do. Very, very good performance, but he didn't have to change anything because Davis was terrible. Like Davis just plodded forward, thinking I'll just throw shots and knock him out. It didn't try and set anything up, didn't feint, didn't double jab, didn't do anything, and just thought, yeah. And I was tweeting about this during the fight. All of these boxers, are absolutely useless when they get clinched. Learn to drag yourself out of clinch work. What are you doing?
Like Lomachenko, dip, he dips his knees and just slides his arms.
Yeah, or do something. Learn to do something. Don't just accept you've been clinched and start sort of trying to scream at the ref to break you up. Just try and get yourself out.
It is kind of annoying to see a clinch, and then all the dude is doing is punching the hip or something.
Yeah,
just 10 wasted seconds to stay in that clinch for 3 seconds, and then wait for the ref to break you up for 3 seconds, and then reset. It's aggravating.
Yeah, well, Liam Davis has always been a basic fighter,
but just punches hard as hell.
He
couldn't land anything.
Not really surprised that he had a hard time. I mean, I didn't expect Masoud to be able to keep up for as long as he did, but I guess it's easy when no one's doing anything back to you.
I thought in the middle rounds it was oh, he's doing better. He might start the flip. Nope. Just a little 2-round intermission.
He had a good round and it was just back to normal.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. And they only really won the 12th round because of volume.
Yeah, because
he still didn't land anything.
When Masoud was on the ropes, you thought, oh yeah, this is where Davis is going to be good, but no, That's where
not
that's
landing
where
anything, falling into
like
a
that's
clinch.
where Masood was like so comfortable. He fought so well with the ropes.
And Davis
Like
was
that.
falling in.
And accepting the
And
clinch.
literally, you know what? Every single time Masood throw every single time he saw Davis's right arm move a little bit, he pinged the left hand over. How aren't you picking up on that? Every single time for 12
12,
rounds,
12 rounds
he threw
wasn't in
the
there.
exact same shot when you were doing something and you didn't pick up on it and didn't change anything. This is what I mean when I say that Davis was terrible. Like Masood boxed very well and did what he had to do. All credit to him. But Davis was terrible, man. Zero adjustments. What? No game plan. Like his feet were miles behind him, so he kept falling in, and that was just lending itself to Masood's game of I'll land a shot and I'll clinch or I'll get out. It was terrible from Davis.
The big Joffy.
Like you look at Davis against sort of Cunningham, Lafamina, all these guys. He's not running in there trying to knock their heads off. He's doing it, but he's not like just throwing shots from about 2 miles out, trying to take their heads off of everything. He's like walking in, balanced well, feet okay. His feet have always been a bit slow, but they've been okay. And he's doing the basics well. He's getting the jab working. He's like setting up shots. He's doing the odd thing. But last night it was so repetitive. Like
Still can't believe that card that was given to him.
that card, that card that gave it to Davis. My God.
He arguably won only 2 rounds.
Look, I mean, I'd have an easier chance of giving Masood every round than finding 7 rounds for Davis.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 116, 112 was about as good as you can give it to Davis.
Even I think even that was generous. I don't think he won 4 rounds.
So do I, but like that's more palatable. I think because I had it 9-3, 8-4 was okay.
They're trying to make it not like look as bad.
Yeah.
When it should say UD 117, 111, 118, 12. Like it should look like that.
Because that card is so bad that it makes us forget how bad the 7-5 card.
Yeah, when you
Masood
look
is.
at this and only see 7-5 and an 8-4 card, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
No,
Especially not a split. This makes it look like it was like a good competitive fight.
Because that was a one-sided schooling where Masood made Davis look like an amateur, and Davis also made himself look like an amateur.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Well,
it wasn't bad.
No, before that,
Not yet.
What isn't going to be bad? Well, what's going to be good? We don't have to hear bloody Davis and Inoue talk anymore.
Oh,
Fantastic. Or maybe Inoue is going to be just thankful he doesn't have to go to Telford.
Inoue aged him out and wait till he was drained and he got beat. He didn't want to fight him when he was in his prime. So there's that. What was very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
Echo Esserman, Echo Esserman's career has been really, really weird because he was a horrible fighter for a good few years. Got beat by Harry Scarf and has just turned into one of the best action fighters in boxing. Had a war against Ben Cooper where both men were down and he stopped Cooper in the last round when he was behind on points. And just had a fight of the year contender against Ben Vaughan that he won by a majority decision. My God, what a fight that was! That was ridiculous.
Ben's face looked like he'd been slashed up crazy. But that was
ridiculous fight.
Actually, if anyone deserves a psychopath tweet, it's Ben Vaughan.
Yeah. The fact that he fought most of the fight with that face damage. It's not like that was just that was the end of the fight. He fought with that swollen right eye, the cut on his nose. His face was a mess.
I don't know how he did it. I mean, he just kept coming forward. I mean, he looked He looked like a zombie from like the 4th round onwards to the rest of the fight.
Looked like a zombie. He was portraying a zombie. He was
Like, just
cosplaying as a zombie.
no matter what he got hit with, no matter how many times he got hurt, he just carried on going, carried on coming, carried on throwing.
And still, it felt like he like doubled the punch output on like even while being hurt.
Yeah, and he still did a lot. I mean, what did I? I think did I score this fight draw?
It was
I think
probably
I
like
might.
6-4, 7-3. Esselman. I don't feel like Ben could have won the fight, to be honest. But
I had it 95-95. But
So did I. Yep. I think he took like 3 of the first 5 rounds, and he took the last
I
2.
don't think I scored it. If I did score it, I feel like I would have had it 6-4.
I had Vaughan winning the first, third, fourth, 9th, and 10th.
Same.
When you think about that, it's crazy that he won like the final round.
But it was close. Like I'm not mad at any of those cards. Like 97-93 was a little bit wide, but it was that good a fight and that competitive that you can't really moan at it.
I know I did. Oh, no, I did score a draw. I gave Esselman 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
But it was
the Boxing News app also had a draw.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Esmond was a weird fighter because he was one of those guys that all British title fights are good except Esmond was.
Fights. Yeah.
Like that was a running joke for a bit. Like they're all good except for his fights. But now he's just joined them, even though that wasn't a British title fight, but still.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get a top 5 rating with the WBO because of Warren. I think they should do the rematch for that though. Like honestly, you can do that rematch on any card anywhere, and everyone's gonna watch it.
Yeah, rematch or just give Ben Vaughan another opportunity on a card. I want to see him again.
I'll tell you who Ben Vaughan should fight if he doesn't get the Esmond fight. Ben Vaughan should fight Owen Cooper, who Esmond beat earlier this year in that war. That's who they should fight. They should go together, and like you can probably get like a British title or an English title or something on the line for that. Do that fight.
Yeah, that could work.
Forgot you're the matchmaker.
If it's a British title, it's always gonna be great anyway. But it'll be even greater.
You know what? The only bad thing about that last night was the only bad thing. I wanted it to have 2 more rounds.
It feel weird. That was 10 rounds.
I don't know why. Why is it 10 rounds? Why was it 10 rounds?
Because it's a WBO European title fight.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be like a top-rated welterweight.
Yeah, but WBO do weird things and do 10 rounders.
All the sanctioning bodies don't know what they're doing.
But yeah, what a fight, man! What a fantastic fight that was.
The list.
Moving on to a not so fantastic fight. On Friday. Actually, is that all the Queensberry card? I think that's all the Queensberry card. Yeah.
The notable Queensberry card.
Yeah, we're not talking about
just
something else. Bektemir Melikuziev against David Stevens. Melikuziev wins a split decision in a fight. I bet the buddy's finished.
When you say that, did he ever start?
He did start.
No, he did. He had insane hype before he got knocked out.
Was he actually? I feel like he was never like really like.
No, he was.
He was, man.
I personally never thought he was gonna be like a championship fighter.
Like
the way he fought was not sustainable, and then he found out, and now since he found out, he's not been the same.
The feeling like Melikuziev.
Yeah.
Since he got iced by Rosado, he stopped being as aggressive, stopped the offense, but he's still got awful defense.
He's regressed since the
knockout.
And he didn't have that much career before the knockout. He had like 7 fights.
That's what I'm
saying. He started as he was like a decent prospect, but he didn't get anywhere.
He was good.
He got knocked out by a 2021 version of Gabe Rosado on his face. So I personally didn't think he was going to ever be something special. And with this opponent, David Stevens, who's been hurt, dropped, or stopped in his last like 5 fights, I thought it was a shoe-in to pick him by knockout. Instead, he was getting hurt more often than Stevens was. And his
It's
face
just
was a disaster at the end.
I,
Him
I
and Ben
struggle
Vaughn
with
were
it.
competing for the worst like facial damage.
And he missed weight as well.
I forgot about that. That pissed me off.
Yeah. Man, like his him coming through as an amateur and that, like he was good, but like it's just it's something left in with that knockout, man.
Yeah, he left half his style on the other side of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's not good. Main event at that card.
I knew this was going the distance.
Floyd
I was so
Schofield is not very good, is he?
I was so confident this was going the distance. I didn't think it was going to get dropped by Renee Tejas. That's not what I had in my head. But
He's not
and where
very
he
good, is
was so hurt that he almost fell out the ring. That was kind of funny. But,
he? He missed his stall at one point. Yeah, he's not very good. I've
he's also
he
another fighter stuck
lunges.
in between styles.
I said last week when we previewed this, he needs 5 fights at this level. Like he's 22, he needs 5 fights at this level. Stop saying you're going to go and knock out Tank or beat Shakur and that. Like consolidate here for 2 years.
See,
He's
he
such a double
fought.
poker.
Look, he just fought a stupid fight. Because I mean, if you're in the know-how and you know who Hiron is, he's not stopping him. I don't know why you tried to stop him. Because when he actually boxed and didn't try to knock him, he fought really well. And I mean, even he was bad. I mean, he still won like 10 rounds of the fight. Like in the grand scheme of his career, I mean, he looked better than he did recently. But still, not great, not perfect.
He needs fights at this level. Like he needs at least 5 at this level, man.
Look, because like if you listen to his dad in the corner, I mean, he's telling him how to fight properly. He's just still going in there trying to knock him out. Just box this guy. You're not knocking him out. He has
He's
an
immature.
insane chin. Also, doesn't help when you don't go to the body, but yeah.
He's very immature. And you can tell he's immature by the way he acts online. Like he's not. I don't know. Like if he keeps doing this, he's gonna get knocked out by someone.
That's someone he
Well,
shouldn't even knock out by.
if he gets the fights that he supposedly wants,
No,
it's getting.
I'm not even I'm not even talking about someone good. Like someone like a Tellez or like one of these tough journeyman types that has been at championship level, maybe challenged for a title, has fought a few guys, and has dropped down the levels a bit. Fights him, like like it's tough. Like Nicholas Waters, like he beat Schofield right now. Someone like that, like a Maxi Hughes might beat him. Like not knock him out, but he might beat him. So like Jose Pedraza, you're not confident that he beat, but like Schofield beats him. There's a lot of guys that prospects are used for, like a Tevin Farmer. A lot of these guys, and like you're thinking, does he get past them? Like if he keeps fighting the way he's fighting, one of these guys is going to beat him. Like he's just not. Just he's too arrogant, man. Like he just fight the way you're good at fighting and fight the way that you're winning the fight. Stop getting involved in a war with someone that can punch from Mexico when you're just outboxing him. Stop it. Just accept you're not going to stop him, outbox him, win a wide you do, and move on. But he doesn't do that.
He gets hurt and dropped instead.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, he was more hurt in the third round than the knockdown.
Yeah.
The knockdown was.
The knockdown was weird.
It was a knockdown, but it was like he didn't need to take that. But he was actually like pretty damn hurt.
Like, well, at least with him, like what the things he did wrong are unavoidable. Like they're all from his own doing. Now
Yeah.
it's just a question of whether he changes them.
I don't
Probably.
know, man.
We'll see. If he listens to his dad, then yeah, he will. If he doesn't, then he won't.
I don't think he needs more fights at this level. He needs a lot more learning fights. I worry about him. I really do worry about him. Friday night, Padraig McCrory lost to Leonard Carrillo, but got a gift decision. Got absolutely flogged for the last 4 rounds of that fight. Did McCrory, and I thought he lost it pretty clearly.
I didn't even score.
I thought it was closer than you're making it seem. He looked horrible.
It was just funny. Because
It was close to the first 5 rounds.
And him getting the knockdown helped him, but the same round he got the knockdown and he almost got stopped himself. So
look, Carrillo isn't good,
at all.
and I said he's not good, but he can punch, and you know, at that level, when you can punch, I mean, it's fine. Like he just landed one punch after getting dropped, and that completely changed the fight.
For the rest of the fight.
And then he kept
couldn't do it anymore.
like he was doing less than McCrory, but he was hurting him. Like you could see he was getting hurt, and like he got hurt in like 3/4 of the rounds.
Yeah.
McCrory's finished. I think that Belango fight took the last little bit out of him. And he's had he looks really, really bad against Steve Whittle as well. Like, that was a close fight last year in Belfast. Like, I don't know. McCrory needs to, somebody needs to get hold of McCrory and serve him up to a prospect pretty soon.
I mean, I don't even know what weight he's gonna fight at because, well, this was like in between. It was like 171, 170.
Yeah.
I mean, is he gonna go back down? Is he gonna fully move up? I just don't know. I feel like he's just gonna stick in between until he gets like a notable fight at either weight, which probably won't happen. Or maybe they can bring him back and he can just fight on Pro Box cards from now
on. I really do like Pro Box cards, but this one, Robbie Davis against Javier Fortuna, might have been the worst fight I've ever seen. Yeah, that's probably hyperbole, but that was bad.
I mean, it
like
wasn't
really
good.
bad.
Well, not only was it not good, I don't think Robbie Davis Jr. won.
I'm gonna be honest. It was so bad, and the rounds were so bad that I can't argue with Davis winning 6 because who the hell knows? It was so bad. It was that hard to score,
especially with him getting dropped as well.
Yeah. Fortuna probably won, but the fight was that bad.
Who cares?
Yeah, the fight was that bad.
That's why I said in my tweet. That's why I said in my tweet. I was like, yeah, I don't really care because the fight was that bad, but I didn't think Robbie Davis Jr. won that fight.
It's weird. He's had a few fights with Pro Box, isn't he? Robbie Davis.
Yeah.
He was there last year. Who have they got at 140? I have no idea. Duke and Bayev against Robbie Davis. Do you want that?
They're both not the same. Anymore.
Don't think that would go too well for Robbie Davis, but sure, I'd watch it.
Duke and Bayev hasn't been good either.
Yeah, he's been better than Robbie Davis.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because I'm never awake for Pro Box card. That's the first Pro Box card I watched live, and it was the worst one. Fantastic. And why are 10-round fights being scored by sole refs?
And why on Pro Box cards on their live streams there's an ad every 2 minutes, and why you put ads in between the rounds?
Look, I mean, the amount of ads I got in that live stream is probably more than I had it like the past month
Just get
combined.
ad block. Get ad
Just
block.
get an ad blocker. I don't want an ad
Look,
blocker. I want them
I
to
watch
stop
it.
putting ads in the middle of me watching the fight. I don't want to
I
see
watch
ads.
YouTube on the PlayStation YouTube app, and there's no ad blocker on there. Talkers, I'm not on a laptop,
I'm on a laptop and I don't want a damn ad blocker. I want to not see
and I'm
ads.
also not paying for YouTube.
But yeah.
Oh, and
We'll move on.
they didn't even show half the card.
Yeah.
We missed Tommy McCarthy and Cole Murphy.
Did Tommy McCarthy win? I haven't even checked that.
Yeah, the four fights we missed, they all won by points. 4 rounds.
Of course they did.
PTS 4.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares, man? Who cares? We missed Tommy McCarthy going to points with 0-19 and 2. Ryan Laybourne.
Look,
Like,
if they're on the card, I want to watch them.
by the way, that kid got knocked out by Bradley Ray a couple of fights. Like that kid got knocked out in 2 by Brad Ray in September.
Shout out the Stingray.
Tommy McCarthy. Oh, Tommy McCarthy. Tommy McCarthy, genuinely like a horrible fighter, man. Jesus. But he did beat Ben and Smith the first time. In fairness to him, that was probably the highlight of his career. Getting robbed against Chris Ben and Smith in Edward Hearn's back garden. Moving on to some very good action. Thursday on a beamer at the Korakuen Hall. Jury against Yamaguchi over 8 rounds in an eliminator for the Japanese title at super flyweight. An absolute toe-to-toe war from the very first bell to the very last bell. One of the best fights I've watched this year, honestly. Like, ridiculous fight. Like, if you haven't watched it, try and watch it, because like they just went toe-to-toe and threw bombs at each other for 8 rounds.
They did. I turned it on at the start of the 4th round, and it was just, I mean, it was better. It was just got better and better as the fight went on.
Oh, yeah, I text you like I was texting you like, get this on now. I was like, what the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. Like it.
I mean,
It,
look, if anyone wants to watch it, I post it on YouTube.
it was a ridiculous fight.
Is that the best Japanese matchup this year? Fight? I don't know. Probably not.
There's too many.
I mean, they have a lot. They have a lot of great fights every year.
Yep.
They're dominating the list right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I thought Yamaguchi just snuck it, like, but I ain't gonna complain about the draw.
And it's the second time in the list this year too, just like SM.
Yeah. One thing I do like about it, because it was an eliminator, and it got scored a draw. They do count back to see who goes and gets the title fight for the Champions Carnival, which I like a lot. Like, but it's still a draw on the record, but like they just go to the judges for count back to say like who's going to get the title fight, and Yamaguchi got the count back decision, so he's going to go and fight for the title at Superfly. I like that they do that, but
they had that rule in the World Boxing Super Series as well. There were just no draws, so
Yeah.
we didn't see it
Yeah.
happen.
I like it though. Also on that card, one of the best prospects in the sport, Diakira, knocked out Orlando Pino in the first round with a left hook to the body. Kira's ridiculous. Like, he is such a good prospect, but I'll tell you what else is a bit more ridiculous. How the hell has he got a top 15 ranking with a WBA after a 6-rounder and 8-rounder? Like, he's probably going to get I can't speak. He's probably going to get an upgrade on that as well, because they didn't take the Pino fight into consideration in the latest ranking. So he'll probably get like a top 10 ranking now.
Maybe they just like, yeah, this kid is insane, so we don't care. We'll just stick him in because that's like at this level-ish, that's kind of a statement as well because Pino went like 8 rounds with Eric Rosa as well, and he
Yeah,
takes back a round.
And he went a few
He
rounds
went
with
6. I think it was 6.
Tobias Reyes.
Yeah,
You went a few with
still
Tobias Reyes. He's a good
who
prospect.
is still currently knocking out everyone on TYC cards, other than the guy he drew with.
He drew the guy that Bam beat for the vacant WBO.
Oh yeah,
Christian
But yeah, he's
Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez.
yeah, slight sort of what's the word? I can't remember the word. I'm my brain's gone today. But Tobias Rose is fighting Felix Alvarado in an IBF eliminator, which should be fun.
Ooh,
But
that sounds good. That does sound good.
But yeah, there was a lot of other news this week. That we'll probably do in another show because this has been going on for like an hour now. But there was not much else. Oh yeah, Jermaine Ortiz this week came back and won. Completely terrible opponent. Knocked him out in the 4th. Dropped him in every round. Pointless fight, pointless opponent. But it is what it is. He's back. He's been let go by Top Rank, so he's basically a free agent now. He can fight anyone at super lightweight. And there's a couple of good fights there for him, but let's see. Let's see who he fights. But yeah, we'll be back later this week with another episode, previewing Jaron Ennis against Karen Shakazian, Jesse Rodriguez against Pedro Guevara. There's a load of other fights this week. I think there's a Probots card. There's the Top Rank cards. There's loads of cards. But yeah, if you're watching this on or listening to this on Sunday night or Monday morning, there's a IBA Pro card tomorrow that's quite good. On Monday, that is, on their YouTube. So watch that if you want. But yeah, we'll be back later this week. All the links are below to Twitters and all that. And yeah, thanks for listening.
See you in episode 16.